My name's James Dalton. I'm the racecourse manager at the Geelong Racing Club, Melbourne, Victoria. Yeah, we have a Trimax Pegasus single roller caster wheel mower, 6.1 metres wide, and it can range from heights 20 mil right up to 180 mil. So we were traditionally cutting with a 70-inch deck mower. It would take us about 8 hours to cut the whole track, probably 20 laps, so to speak. So we're always looking at ways to be more efficient with a small squad that we have. We found that the Trimax Pegasus was great for us in that we could get over the track within 2 hours and be more effective and efficient in doing that job. Yeah, look, the 70-inch deck mower, we also caught the grass. It's probably more of a traditional way of cutting a racetrack, which you'll see a lot of racetracks do use that method. I suppose we were just going with the norm and what everyone else is doing, so to speak, being given the machine to have a crack at with and be a bit of a trial and to see the results. To switch over to the Trimax Pegasus, we're saving about $10,000 a year on labour, diesel, servicing, which is great. There'd be a small saving in fertiliser input as well. We're running at a quarter of the amount of fuel that we were using with the old method of cutting the track as to what we're using now, so fuel saving significant. Yeah, servicing costs of the mowing regime we're using now have dropped quite significantly. In the past, we were probably spending about $2,000 to $3,000 in servicing costs, whereas with the Trimax Pegasus, that's down to about $500. And that's really just on grease and changing of blades. Over the lifetime of this machine, I'd expect to save over $100,000 quite easily. The cut quality of the Pegasus is really high. We've got 11 spindles with 4 blades on each. The mower itself, it's got a really high velocity and the power that it throws the clippings is quite significant. We can probably have the leaf a little bit longer at times. The cut of the turf is extremely fine and those clippings are thrown out the back of the mower and you can't really see where they've gone. But in the past, if we're to use an out front deck mower, so to speak, and the grass length is too long, our catcher implement sometimes can't keep up and clumps of grass can be left, and then we spend time having to go around and rake out those clumps of grass. So returning the clippings to the soil, I did have some hesitations about the thatch layer build-up, but I've also found there's some positives to it. What you're effectively doing is returning nitrogen into the profile, so I've found that the plant is a lot more vibrant and healthier, and even my fertiliser inputs have been cut back. So the wheel tracks of using our front deck mower and doing 20 laps of the track, you can imagine there's quite a lot of wheel marks. Probably every metre apart, we've got wheel marks. The Trimax Pegasus, we can do 3 laps of the track. Track's cut. Obviously we've got 3 wheel marks from our tractor, but we find they stand up pretty quickly and we're left with like a blank, even canvas of grass to look at rather than having wheel marks all across our track. I don't think this is a common technique to cut racetracks this way, but I think it's a good way to do it. I'd certainly recommend the Trimax Pegasus. The benefits far outweigh the negatives for us here. The staff love the new setup. They're not sitting in a mower for 8 hours a day. They get the job done within 2 hours and off to do other tasks. For clubs that are low on numbers and labour is an issue for them, this fits perfectly. To be able to cut the track, it's a great machine for that.